Hi everyone, my name is David and I'm recording an album in the next 30 days and I'm using Cubase, but I'm showing you everything that I'm going through to get this album off the ground. So let's jump into today's recording. I have some music to show you guys today for the first time in a while. I've been recording this afternoon, doing an instrumental piece that I have. Now, I don't know exactly how I'm going to handle the vocals on this. I may either do no vocals or I might do like a spoken word type thing, but I want to get into the project and show you what I've been doing today. First, let's just jump right in, huh? So first, let's talk about these markers in my marker track. Now, these are handy to navigate the project. So if I hit Shift 1, it'll go to marker 1, Shift 2, marker 2, Shift 3, marker 3. Pretty self-explanatory. Now also you'll notice here I have an arranger track, but I'm not using it in the traditional sense. An arranger track is pretty powerful, and you can YouTube videos on how to use an arranger track to try out different arrangements for your composition. But in my case, in this particular instance, I just used it to have the different colors signal the changes for me so that I didn't have to count in my head while I was trying to engineer and track at the same time. So in this song, I have 4 acoustic guitar leads, 2 acoustic guitars playing rhythm, and 2 electric guitars playing lead, as well as a bass guitar and a signature track that's in 3/4. So we can take a listen to sort of what I have going on. Oh, I should turn off my audio. So you get the basic idea of how the song goes, and what I wanted to talk to you today about are my decisions for panning. Now, as you hear, this is really wide in the stereo field. The only thing that's straight down the middle is the bass guitar, and that's cool because I don't like bass being on the sides. I like it being straight down the middle. That's just my personal preference. And there's a little bit of reverb on everything. What I did was I actually set up a Reverb Effects track, and I sent everything to the reverb bus at the exact same level of gain so that it sounds like all these guitars are playing in the same room. Now, you wouldn't always do that. You would have different levels of gain, but that's what I wanted to do this time. Now, if we look at my mix bus here, you'll notice I just have a little bit of a low cut on all the guitars. I have a huge high pass on the bass. Then I have these things going on with the acoustic rhythms, and I have frequency and compressor, just tone shaping with the frequency plugin, and just slight compression with the compression plugin. Now on the electrics, I have the VC76, which is an 1176 emulation, and that's just because I needed a little bit faster compressions for those parts that were like junk, junk. So we could find them right here. There you go. Jonk, jonk, jonk. That is the official musical term for that part. Jonk, jonk. So I have just a faster compressor on the electrics because they were recorded through an amp and they were a little bit louder. But what I really want to talk to you guys today is about panning. So my decision on this song was to pan everything left, right, hard left, right. And if you look at all these, this is you know, the G lead and the A lead are the 2 guitars I use. I have a Guild and an Alvarez. The Alvarez is like thin and brittle sounding, and the Guild is thicker and darker sounding. So what I do is I just combine the 2 and I pan them both hard left and right. So if I just solo this, and I actually don't have a bus for it, but you'll hear. And of course, I haven't edited everything yet, but you get the idea of exactly how it's supposed to go. But just the two tones combined, and then they're all panned super hard. The acoustics are panned hard. The electrics are panned hard. Everything is panned to the outside. But what if you didn't want to do that? Because I recorded everything in mono, but what if you wanted to bus, let's say, all the leads that are on the left and sort of tuck them in and just have the rhythm on the far left, and then all the leads sort of tucked in a little bit closer in? Well, you can do that with the stereo group panning. So let me just show you in Cubase. So here's a left lead, here's another left lead, and here's the left electric. And I have Q-Link on, and I've created this stereo bus called left lead. So it's being routed to the mix bus right now, but we'll mix that then we'll choose the rights. Acoustic, acoustic, electric, and we'll route those to the right lead. Now, even though these are panned hard left and hard right, what we can do is when you have a stereo track, you have the option to do a stereo balance panner or a stereo combined panner. So a balance panner is what you typically used to, with just a line left or right and a percentage. But what if we wanted to do a combined panner? What you get is how much of the spectrum you want to pan this to. So let's say I wanted this to be L0 that is within a certain frequency range. So I'll choose L50 here. And so that's tucked in to between the center and 50% of the left-hand speaker. And I could do the same for the right. We change it from a balance panner to a stereo combined panner. And we do R50. And we make this center. So now, as you see, the leads will all be 50% of the way into a speaker, and the rhythms will be on the outside. And let's see how that works out in real life. There's something to it. The reason I chose to just ditch these tracks and just route everything mono to the mix bus was because I really want this widespread thing, especially if I come back later and I go for it in terms of doing a voiceover or something like that. I'd really like my voice to come right down the center with just the bass, and then I'd like these guitars to be out on the outskirts sounding all ethereal. If you know what I mean. So this is a song that I wrote called Die on the Vine. I'm in the studio tonight. I am going to be shredding out some tunes, but let me see if there's something else I could show you all. I mean, there's plenty I could show you. If you have any questions about what I did here, how I routed everything, how I recorded the acoustic guitars, just leave them in the comments and I'll try to hit them up tomorrow. But today I just wanted to do a quick tutorial on just the stereo balance panner versus the stereo combined panner. Just so you know that you do have the ability here to sort of choose what part of the spectrum you want your panning to go through. So I hope you found this useful, everyone. Thanks for tuning in, and take it easy. I'll be back tomorrow with more tunes and more tips and tricks for recording an album in 30 days in Cubase. Bye!